In today's video, I'm going to share with you my favorite way of developing a great lead technique, improvisation technique, knowing your fretboard, developing your personality, and we're not going to look at any scale. We're just going to look at tiny little chord fragments. Hello, my name is David. Welcome to the channel. This channel is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the guitar. The catchphrase seems to change every single video. Hopefully you get the idea. If that's you, if you've been playing for a little while, or if you've just been started on the guitar, well, I have something for you. This is the Music Theory DNA. It's a free course that will help you progress in the right way. This is a different type of course. It's going to unlock all the different concepts that sometimes seem very difficult on the instrument, made very, very simple. It's a very healthy way of learning. Check it out. It's free. The link is below, the Music Theory DNA. And today we're going to take a look at a way to really unlock what is deep inside of you by looking at tiny chord fragments. So what is a chord? Well, a chord is two or more notes played at the same time. There's a lot of different chords. We're going to start with something simple that everybody knows, maybe an A minor bar chord. This one right here, frets 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5. We can use anything else. It really doesn't matter, and we're going to get into that later on. Even if you don't know all the chords, well, who does? It really doesn't matter. I'll show you later, but we're going to start with that chord, and we're going to take a fragment of that chord. So instead of playing all 6 strings here, we're going to limit ourselves to maybe 3 strings. So maybe we'll play this right here. These 3 pitches are part of the full chord. Now this chord is extracted from a key, a system, a scale. Which one? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because there are multiple possible answers. All that matters is that these 3 pitches together start to tell a story. This is the landscape. This is the first page of the story that you're opening, and it's giving you the setting of the song. First, there is nothing. You haven't opened the book yet. There's silence. As soon as I play something, especially if I play a combination of notes together, that's going to give you an idea of what is going on musically. Now, when I say an idea, I'm not saying Dorian, Phrygian, Aeolian, Phrygian dominant. No, I'm just saying it's going to give you that landscape, something you can hear right here. All right. That's not a great story so far. We're going to add some characters, some elements to that, and that's where your sense of exploration comes into the picture. And before we do this, it's really important to understand that in Western music, which is what we're dealing with today, rock, funk, ballads, like basically anything you hear on the radio, is based on half steps. A half step is going to be the smallest, the shortest distance between 2 notes. And on the guitar, that's the distance between 1 fret and the next. That's a half step. There's one more thing to know. Typically, and when I say typically, I'm saying 99% of the time, any scale, any system you use, the widest distance you're going to have between 2 notes is going to be a full step. And that's 2 frets. Yes, sometimes you might have 3, but typically 2 is the widest distance you will have between 2 notes. Back to our scale fragment, this one right here. I'm using strings 4, 3, and 2, frets 7, 5, 5. The widest distance I'm going to have between 2 notes is going to be 2 frets. The shortest distance I'll have between 2 notes is going to be 1 fret. That means that I have 2 possibilities. For each of these 3 notes, this one, this one, this one, the next note I will encounter on that fret, on that string, is going to be either one fret away or two. Which one will you use? It's up to you. Your ear will guide you. But we're going to try to blend into our shape here other notes, and these notes need to be contained within the area of the fretboard we're using. In other words, I don't want to play this and then all the way up here. I want to have everything contained. That's going to be very useful for your development as a guitar player. So everything kind of in that zone of the fretboard, in that box. We're thinking caged system. Now, this is not a lesson on caged, but you can look it up. It's a narrow system, but that's what we're using here. We're trying to blend within this chord piece other notes. So let's start with this pitch right here, second string, 5th fret. If I want to be contained in that zone of the fretboard, I'm going to have to go towards the bridge, because if I go towards the neck, well, I'm a little bit outside of this box, this zone of the fretboard. So my options are, if this is the 5th fret, 6th fret, that's going to be the narrowest distance. That's a valid option, right? Or the widest one will be 2 frets higher. See, they're both valid options, but they both tell different stories. Or it doesn't matter, you're creating your own system. So I'm going to go with this, for example. I'm going to go 2 frets higher. And then this pitch right here, which is the 3rd string, 5th fret, also 2 frets higher. So now I have, within that piece of a scale, I have that chord. Now this pitch right here, which is on the 4th string, 7th fret, if I want to stay contained here, I need to go towards the left, from my perspective, towards the neck of the guitar. So again, I have 2 options. If this is fret number 7, I can go to fret number 6. Sounds cool. If I blend this 6th fret with the rest, it works. Or I could go 2 frets below, 5. That also works. It tells a different story. Now already, just by doing this exploration type of thing, we are starting to unlock different sounds, different scales, and we are playing in different keys. The idea here is to select one of them, one of these different combinations, and start developing a story. Spend maybe 5 minutes with the combinations that you found. This will give you an ear for the sound of that story. You haven't named it yet. You haven't figured out what scale, what mode, what key that is. It doesn't matter for now. What matters is the sound of that thing, because so many players cannot name a scale, a mode, but they can play it. And that's really what matters, right? The sounds really matter. So once you decided that you want to go with one of these combinations, for me, I'm going to go with this piece of a scale. Again, I'm using strings 4, 3, 2, so I'll use frets 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7 with that piece of a chord. I'm going to start telling my story. Now, I can combine now different notes. This is not the only chord that I find within that piece of a scale. I could find maybe this one. Is that a valid option? Absolutely, because these notes, which on the 4th string, fret 5, next string 7, 7, these notes are also found within that piece of a scale. So now I have this to use, and I'm starting to develop some ideas. And then you can expand on that, just knowing that you are either 1 or 2 frets away from the last note. Well, let's try something else. This time, I'm going to go with this shape. I'm going to use 3 notes. I'm going to use these notes. I just placed my fingers on the fretboard. That's what came out. I don't know what it's called. I'm not thinking along those lines. I'm just playing a chord. I know it's a chord because it has more than 1 note played at the same time. Here I'm using the first 3 strings, frets 11, 12, 13. Now this is the canvas. That's the first page of the book. I'm going to start adding some details. Now I'm using this zone of the fretboard between frets 11 and 13. I don't want to go too far outside of that. I'm going to start with this note right here. First string, 13th fret, and I'll try to maybe add to this piece of a chord, the note that is 2 frets below. Oh, cool, I like that. Now I have 4 pitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to start developing a story. I can make another chord, I can maybe have this one. And I'll do the same with the next note, this one right here, 2nd string, 12th fret. Let's try 1 fret higher. I don't like that. It's possible to use that, but I don't like it. So maybe I'll try 1 fret below. I like that better, and I'll do the same thing with this one right here, 3rd string, 12th fret, maybe 2 frets higher. Yeah. That's the piece of the scale, and I'm going to start developing a story. From there, I can maybe create new chords. And before you know it, by doing this, you're starting to develop your musicality. You're telling a story that it was not written before. It is not a story that is directed by the theory knowledge. It is just a story made of sounds. The only knowledge you need is that a note, typically, will either be 1 fret or 2 frets away from the last note. So we're covering the fretboard in really small pieces, small fragments. The more you do this, the more automatic your playing is going to be. And when I say automatic, I don't mean automatic as in patterns and things like that. I mean free. Automatic as in free. You're going to be able to place your fingers on the fretboard, doesn't really matter where, okay? Not even look at it. And your fingers will kind of have a sense of where the next note is, which one works. I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the same exact thing, but with a fragment of a chord. And developing a story just like that. I challenge you to give that a try. Just grab your guitar, have a sound you are comfortable with. It doesn't matter if it's distortion, clean, delay, reverb. I kind of tend to like this kind of sound, so that's what I'm doing. And then just play something. Play a chord, a fragment of a chord. Just really try it. See what happens. Even if the chord you're playing is something like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm going to go with this. And start developing a story. I promise that if you do this 10 minutes every single day for the next 2 weeks, comment below if you do that, because you're going to see some things in your playing that will come out that would never come out if you take the approach of studying the guitar the conventional way. I'm not saying that you should stop studying chords and scales and learning licks, but add that to your practice routine. See what happens. Wonderful things will happen. I guarantee it. Click right here on more ideas on how you can learn how to play solo without learning any scales. This is also very helpful. It's an older video. I'll look a little different, but I'll meet you right there. Thanks for watching this. Practice well.